Hi everyone, welcome to Design Upgrade and thank you so much for tuning in. Just wanted to inform you that this video lesson is part of a larger online course, which actually itself is one of many other courses that you can find on our main site courses.design-upgrade.com. Hope to see you soon there, and now please enjoy the video and also leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Right, perfect. So as you can see, I kind of did my best to write down what we did there so you have a better understanding of that. Now let's go to the next example where we model up the iPhone. So I just created a layer called iPhone and I have a sub layer already called picture because we want to reference that out of a picture. So double click iPhone, get rid of the solids, and let's go to Google and try to type in iPhone 5 dimensions, right? And I want to get the dimensions of this guy. So let me see. I want to also have the centimeters. This one looks good. Can't really give you this image because, I'm just finding it myself on the internet. Please just go here wherever you find that and just download it. Put it somewhere, save image as, put it somewhere here, download iPhone. And let me see, JPEG, save it. And now in Rhino, I'm going to go to picture and just say picture and reference that geometry inside. This guy, enter 0, and let's just bring it in and scale it up. Something like this. Now you have different iPhone options you can use, but because we have the centimeters set here, we can just scale it now using a normal scale, not 1D, not 2D, scale this guy. And get rid of my grid snap, find-ish the endpoint here, and find-ish the endpoint there. Shift button to lock the direction. This should be it. And let's scale it to the size here, 123.8. Enter. All good. Now if you want, we can just move it, but it's not really important, to 0. Should be fine. Now let's create a new layer called 2D drawing. Let's make it red so we can really see that it's just a different layer. Let's draw the basic shape of this guy, right? I want to maybe position my picture a bit up, sorry, just so it's not in my way. We don't need to reference this too much. And I want to create a rectangle, very simple, rectangle in that layer, starting at 0. I want to go X 58.6, enter. I want to go up 123.8, enter. That's already beautiful. Now we need to do kind of the first filleting because we can see it has a filleting there. Now let's just try to find it ourselves. So we say fillet, corners, select this guy, enter. And I mean, it's almost like 10. So let's say 10. Does that look good? Looks good. No, we don't have to follow it to a beat, but this already looks good. Now the next thing I want to do is just draw the basic shapes that I see here onto my picture. So I zoom in and just get a rectangle. I mean, we could measure this, but we don't want to go crazy. I'm gonna create a rectangle. That's my inner screen. Model that up. Gonna take a circle. Gonna put where I have my control for my thumb. Go up here, do the same thing for my circle, like so. And we want to have a rectangle here, starting off something like this, going like this, not super precise, fillet edge, fillet corner, sorry. This guy, enter 1, perfect. We have all of this good stuff. Take this, we want to now go to our align. We want to say align vertical to the center, and we just find the center. This quad should be fine. Now it's all aligned positionally on the vertical axis. Now I want to move it. And, we can see it's about how much? It's about, 4 millimeters, just 3.5 millimeters down to our lower end of the iPhone here. So just take this point like so, and I'm just going to go all the way down and just center it here. Looks pretty much good, right? I have my smart track on, so this should be kind of the basic body of it. Now we have already done this. We could already go here and draw the other side. So you can see we have this interface. I just want to draw it quickly with you together. So I just go here, draw a circle, get this guy in the middle of it, and just see how much it is, about 2.5. Just write it down, and I can just copy it down. Gumball minus 10.5. Yeah, looks good. Then we also have this section here, so I'm just going to create a rectangle, like so. I'm going to say fillet. Fillet the corners, 1, it's a bit too much, 0.5, all right, and then we have this switch knobby there. I'm gonna create a smaller portion and about here. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing, fillet corners and say 0.3 should be fine. That's the interior line. We will come to that, just leave it there for now. And on the top we have this geometry, and we will have a look at that in a second. Then now I can already go to three-dimensional geometry, so let's say solid. And the width of this guy is about 7.6 millimeters. So I'm going to take this guy and I want to go here and say extrude, curve, solid, yes, that's very important, and say, how much was it? 7.6. Go downwards, so it's facing downwards, and I already have my nice geometry there. All right, perfect. Now what we need to do is just take everything except this portion here. So we just want the inner four curves that we just drew, and I want to say extrude again. Extrude the curve, solid, yes. I want to say 1 millimeter, just down basically, like so. The next thing, we want to take this, basically this cylinder, and we want to extract it from our base surface. So I'm going to say Boolean difference. I want to subtract it from this guy. I don't want to delete the input. I want to keep that. I want to still do something with that. So I'm just going to say delete no. Again, I have to do that again. So sorry, enter this guy, delete no, enter. Now this, if I just delete it for now, basically took away this geometry, but I still have it, right? And the same thing I want to do actually with all of those guys. So I'm going to do that same thing, Boolean difference. This is the one that I want to subtract from. Now I'm going to select multiple geometry, like so. Delete input, no. So beautiful. Now that means we actually have our screen. This guy we can already create a layer for and say, you know, screen, and already assign it to this guy, change it, and give it already material so we can clearly see it. I want to go to plastic. I like that one. Go down to something dark gray, or let me go to color wheel and make it a bit darker, something like this, but not totally black, and say reflectivity 100, yes, transparency a bit, and that should already do it. Yeah, say okay. If I go to render it, we should already see, okay, this looks kind of where we want to go, right? Perfect. Super. So let's go to our shaded view. This guy I actually don't need. There's the speaker, right? As you can see, I really have an iPhone, but this guy, this one is basically the camera. I can also put it into screen, like so. And this one is actually the touchpad, if you will, which is also a bit sunken in, right? So the one thing that I could do with this is do a fillet edging, actually. So I'm going to say fillet the edge, and the radius should be 0.5, very small. I'm just going to find one, polysurface, enter, and now you can see we have this guy, and this one we can just push down ever so slightly, let's say minus 0.5. It's a bit sunken in, actually, something like that. No, if we go to our rendered, this looks almost like it. No, it's a bit much, but it should be fine. All right, superb. Now we have that detail. I actually do not like the color too much. Could be a bit more darker, like so. Perfect, perfect, super. So now we have this geometry done, more or less, right? Now let's look at the sides. So for the sides, we actually have this geometry, right? I'm going to take this one, move it. I'm going to first measure from the upper scale how much it goes down. It's about 17. All right, then I can just take everything here, move it down, position it to my top, gumball minus 17. That should do the job. Now I'll go to perspective, go to shaded. I take everything that I have here, rotate it by, let's say, minus 90, right? And I want to go to front, right? And I want to go to right, but I am on the other side, so actually I want to go to set view, not right, but left. Exactly. So now take everything from the mid, move it down, lock the direction, center it, voila. Before we continue on, let's just get a text object, because we have looked at that text object. We want to just say plus, actually, right? I want to decrease the millimeters. With these things, you just need to play around a bit for, and position it to the center. Here should be fine. Same thing, enter. And this time I want to say minus, and let's put this guy about here, and let's actually scale it up because it's better than minus. So I want to take these two guys, I want to align them central, align horizontal centers. I want to align them with the center here. Gonna take this guy, move align it here, and this guy move, align it to this guy. All right, so you see what we're doing there? We're kind of building up our case. Now we need to bring everything into the right planes. I'm going to move it to my surface here. This actually should be already on the surface. Now take these two and push them out, let's say a millimeter, -1. Right? Now, we want to do something nice where we go to solid again. We want to boss these guys now. Say boss. This one, enter, boundary is this guy, and we have already our geometry boss there. Now the same thing I want to do with this guy, but I want to move it 1 inside. And while it's selected, say boss with my boundary here. And again, I have basically the geometry extracted out. Now I can just say boss again. I mean, we could leave it to the geometry and just extrude it, but let's say just boss. Let's not go crazy. Boss this guy, please, with this guy. And now we have already that detail there, that if we just take these 2 curves, this guy and this guy, we move it inside, let's say 0.5, and then we say boss. While they're still selected with this boundary, we now have this geometry. And if we look at the rendered, it looks more than beautiful. Yeah, so we already have actually a big chunk done, I would say. Now we also have this detail here, and we have these details here. I mean, we can just quickly do that actually. Go to top, align this picture. Let's just do that quickly. Align it, lock it with our geometry here. Now we can just draw a rectangle to see how large this has to be. About that size. We take this, we bring it all the way down, go to perspective, change it to shaded. I hope it's not too fast. 90. Now I want to project this the way here, move it. Let me see. It's pretty much centered actually, so let me just center it with moving it downwards until here. And I don't like this detail actually. Let me just move it all the way here, and then just 1 centimeter inside, so -1, like this. Should be fine. Let's look at this guy again, and let's say scale 1D, and let's give this 1 at least. So it's 2 millimeters. Fillet corner, 1. Looks beautiful. Move it out, 1, and boss it. This guy with this guy. This detail is done. Now we have also 2 geometries, right? We have the circle here, and we have kind of the plugin for our charger. So I'm gonna go to front, say shaded. I'm in the right view, circle. Let's take our circle for our headphones and put it in at 1.5, or let's say 2. Should be okay. And I'm not gonna nail it now with the dimensions, but let's just move it something like here. Should be fine. This rectangle for the charger is somewhere here, so I'm gonna rectangle. Let's just draw one there, and we can position it correctly. Get the center and align it. Get that center and align it. And yeah, I don't know precisely the name or the value, but let's just make it 5 to 1 also. Should be fine. Fillet the corners of this guy. All right, take those 2 geometries and just move them in. Let's say 5, and then just boss them. You can see the bosses are actually a very nice kind of thing. While we're still here, let's just say fillet edge. Fillet edge radius 5 should be fine. Yes. Oh, you can see fillet edge, chain edge. This guy I want to chain it, and perfect. Now there are of course more details. They have kind of the speaker dots that you can pretty much do yourself. I think you are up for the job for this, and we're pretty much done actually with the basic geometry. As you can see, this already looks very nice. Now there's just one more detail that we need to take into account, which I want to quickly show you also. First of all, the most important one actually is to say fillet this edge. Now the iPhone has not a fillet but a chamfer, so we can do the same thing. We can just say chamfer edge. Distance should be 0.5. It's not that big actually. And chain edge. This guy. Something like that. Same on the bottom. Chain edge. Chamfer this guy. Enter. Enter. And voila. Let's see. rendered. This now looks like an iPhone. Definitely feels like one. Alright, I mean, there are so many details that we could add. Let's just make it simple. The last thing I want to add actually is a very nice detail. For that, I'm going to turn off my 2D drawings, which is to create kind of this side detail where it basically has like this, engraving of a black whatever. Yeah. So to do this, I want to create a pipe. I want to say chain edges. I want to select this here. Actually, should work out like so, but okay. Gonna create this here. Say enter. I want to create a very small segment, so this is 0.3. Yeah, I like that. Now what I want to do is just mirror it along this guy and select these two guys and select mirror it along that guy. And I want to say Boolean difference from my solid, and these little things should be now taken away. And this should result in, if I just delete them, I didn't delete them myself, and to this nice detail. I just really like that one. All right, now that we have this, the bottom I'm not looking at all. I mean, there's a camera and there's like this extra surface. This is something that you can just add yourself. Please do that, or we can maybe come to that in a second maybe. Now the next thing I want to do is just create a new layer, make this already look good. So on the screen, let me just go here, color picker. This is a bit dark. Let's change it a bit like so. And this one actually is called black surface, black surf material, also a plastic, but this time totally black. All right, okay. And this one I can put onto screen, as well as my camera up there, all fine. Turn off screen. And I want to put all of this upper part into this black surface. How do I do that? Well, I need to say extract surface, enter. Now all of these components should be isolated. They are. Select everything, the upper part, put them into black surface. Change. And yeah, well, there you go. We have kind of a nice detail going on there. If I bring back my geometry, you can see this pretty much looks already like an iPhone. No? Can also take everything that's currently in that layer and say join, so it's back like to one poly surface that I can use. All right, now we can just give this guy actually the color, and we're pretty much done, to be honest. Again, you could add some details here. Extract surface again. This bottom part, extract it, say split. ISO curve, select this guy and find this point and also this point. Enter. Now I should have these two guys, which you can pretty much put onto black surface. And well, now there you go. No, already looking better. So we have that one now. We could again join these two guys back together. No, so this frame. And actually let's create a frame layer called frame and put off everything. Take this guy, put it into frame, change it, material. We want to go up here and say add new material, import from material library, metal. We want to have matte. Let's see. Now please just give it your own taste. I want to take maybe matte silver or matte chrome, matte steel. Let's say chrome. Text bump texture, yes. Grit, and let's say XXXS. All right, let's try that out. Get all of our other materials there, and now you can see we have this very nice kind of geometry, actually looking almost like an iPhone. No? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Take everything, group it, and we can just make a copy, hide that copy, and this one we can now rotate 90 degrees, move it up to 0, and look at this beauty. This is kind of our iPhone that we modeled up using the basic knowledge that we had, right? We can bring in a sun on, making this look a bit nicer, a bit more realistic. We can go here and get rid of our picture. No, we can also go to our environments, as we know, and get a new environment. Import. Let's give it kind of a interior space, Dublin Studio, or here Elbone. Click it, and now there you go. Look at this guy. Doesn't this look amazing? Now we could add, more details, but I think this is already very realistically looking with very simple methods that we just explored. And that's pretty much it for this chapter. I'm going to save it. You find it in your downloads. And well, thank you. And let's go to the next one, actually, the next chapter.